again, YouTube! This is Dr. Kendo, and we're here with another Scribblenauts Unlimited Object Editor commentary. Of course, this is the series where I create your favorite characters in the Scribblenauts Unlimited Object Editor. That's one feature of this game. We're going to be learning how to create Cloudy Copter, as you just saw on screen. And if you stick around, of course, you're going to also learn how to create Piper from Bendy and the Ink Machine. Of course, one of the members of the Butcher Gang. If you like this kind of content, I definitely encourage you guys to subscribe. Please also hit the bell. That's what gets you the notifications and whatnot. Yeah, you gotta do that too. We're gonna go with a Duramin to start out with, that oval source object that we've got right here. I'm gonna explain to you basically which pieces that we're gonna type in to get to create our characters today. That's what these commentaries go like. We got an arm coming up next, painted black all the way, and we'll go with a pebble after that. This is all for Cloudy Copter right here. Of course, that's from the BALDI'S Basics camping, field trip demo, I should say. Allosaurus. We're going to take the back tail of that coming up next. And so again, the content on this channel is usually Scribblenauts Unlimited, but it's also basically any kind of character creation games that you can make sort of other characters from other universes in and put them into the respective games that we're creating in. A macaroon. You know that word. It's so funny. My wife has talked about this before, but what is it really pronounced like in English? Is it macaron or macaroon? You actually can apparently do both. We got Utapam coming up right here, and Utapam, of course, a reference for long-time subscribers. People who have been around here, we used to use Utapam all the time, and we still do occasionally. Golden egg coming up next. I'm gonna learn how to cook an Utapam. I know it. I should make a video about that if I do, because I'm a pretty good cook, actually. Fun fact, I got a lot of skills I don't talk about. Like, another one is basically being able to make primitive fire, so friction fires, bow drill, using like a ferro rod or some kind of like metal match is almost cheating for me. This should just become like a general how-to channel one day. Anyway, we got a dagger tooth coming up right here after another hemisphere was placed down, sort of for that main, I guess you could call it like the head shape, of course, of Cloudy Copter. It is like, I guess he's a he. He is like essentially like a helicopter, but also clouds. So sort of interesting character, of course, like most of them in BALDI'S Basics. Interesting is a very good word to describe them. Dough, we just put down after that dagger tooth middle body piece was done a few times, and a runway right here. There's like this little, of course, it's just like, it's sort of crudely drawn or crudely modeled, I guess you could say, on purpose, of course, to fit the art style. We'll talk about that in 1 second. Pastry down, and that'll actually be the last thing I think you had like one more stamp space that you could do, but we really got the details that I wanted out of that right there. So alright, this is the properties editor coming up right here, which is basically where we just do some health and edit like scripts and things like that, just sort of behind the scenes things about your characters. And so when we get to this part of the videos, in this series I love to read background information and fun facts about the characters that we're creating, so let's do this, of course, for Cloudy Copter, which is a big, poorly modeled, and I say this every time as I just mentioned, but poorly modeled on purpose, to fit the style. Cloudish being that essentially looks like a helicopter, but only slightly, I guess. He was added into the updated version 1.1 for the BALDI'S Basics field trip demo. Mistman12, creator of BALDI'S Basics in Education and Learning, evidently was gonna call it Cumulo-Nincompoop as Cloudy Copter's original name, but decided to scrap that idea. It would have been a play on the cumulonimbus cloud, and of course the word nincompoop. The mechanics of this character in the field trip demo are basically to blow on the campfire if it gets to a certain brightness, which obviously causes the fire to go out quicker and in effect makes Baldi appear sooner. I suppose we'll put in one final word before moving on, just saying if you liked that first game of BALDI'S Basics or you're interested in it, presuming you didn't play it or see it, definitely follow the game's progress, as the creator is now making it into a full game after a successful Kickstarter campaign. And we got a male dancer as the source object right here, with a Pachycephalosaurus taking that leg piece, it's like the thigh, so before the feet of it, that leg right there, and duct tape. The Pachycephalosaurus leg part went over the torso, whereas the duct tape, we're attaching it to the arm right there. So make sure that you know how to use the green grids. Basically, when you press that arrow kind of in the bottom middle of the screen, a little bit to the left, you'll have a panel of like buttons and actions you can do. We'll see it in 1 second after we give that a color pattern. But on the left side of panel of buttons and things, the top right button then will get you those green grids. The green grids basically show, okay, where's the arms, the legs, the head, the body, everything kind of moving parts where you can attach objects for for your object overall. In fact, each one of these things that we're putting down, like this tie slide right there after the dancer's leg and this kidney bean, each one of these things is considered a stamp in this game. And so you actually only have a limited amount of stamps to use. Horse will take that back leg. It's in the front, of course, but like by that I mean it's forward facing to us, not behind. But it was the back legs, of course, and we took that twice. The thigh piece, I guess. Made that for some of the clothing there, because we are creating Piper right now, of course. I did say we're going to be making Piper from Bendy and the Ink Machine, the Butcher Gang. We took a cuttlefish piece there earlier and an oval coming up right here to go down for a little button, and the cuttlefish was another button piece there on the vest. We got a pretzel coming up right here. Looking good. It's all coming together slowly but surely, so we'll put down that pretzel here to our bottom right and use the letter I coming up next for a piece of the arm, and this arm's going to be crazy detailed. I feel like, he's got this arm right here that actually has the hand on it, whereas the other arm did not. Bacon going down, actually something I forgot to put right here on the body. Anyway, we had a screw right there, and that was for the arm, and then a blobfish was another detail I was going to do because the vest kind of goes down with the flaps in the back right there. Letter I, we can go, we'll just start with the leg right here, of course. This is a hemisphere coming up next, and a dagger tooth middle body piece again, because his leg right here is a plunger. It looks crazy, and it's hilarious. I actually really like the design of this character. Most of the Bendy and the Ink Machine characters I feel the same way about. I love them. It's just like Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, I was obsessed with the characters' designs, and I think that sort of appreciation of these characters often comes in the form of this YouTube channel. Like, I really just being asked to design a lot of them in this game, it gives me kind of an appreciation for how they're modeled, what they look like. I mean, imagine the imagination that's involved to create these, to think of these kinds of characters. The letter N, of course, coming up after the letter I right there. We're gonna start basically making this monkey wrench that he's holding. Oddly enough, yes, it is a monkey wrench because Piper is apparently a chimpanzee. Now, apes and monkeys, people often confuse them together or whatever, but they're all primates. And so the pool girl's back arm is gonna be that stamp limit reached. You just saw that little error message right there. So we didn't really need to have this happen on the Cloudy Copter design, but with Piper, we'll actually need to make his head and his body separately. We'll talk about that in one moment. It's essentially a loophole in this game. But because we are on the properties editor for Piper right here, we'll just go ahead and read some fun facts, of course, or just a little bit of background info here. The Butcher Gang was one of those things that people were requesting for some time, but it was never actually the most popular or most requested during any given week of the past. It has now finally tied with Cloudy Copter, who we've created for this episode, proving that it isn't a lost cause in this series to continue suggesting a character later on down the line if it didn't work out the first few times. Anyway, of course, we've just got Piper today, as you'll notice in this episode, and that's because life is insane for me, for one, so that sort of lightened the load to just do Piper. But it was also in honor of Piper showing up in the Bendy and the Ink Machine Chapter 5 trailer that was released in pretty close proximity to this video being uploaded. I'm doing the commentary for this on September 6th, but we upload every single Sunday morning on this channel. If I remember right, Piper first appeared in Chapter 3 and was the first Butcher Gang enemy that Henry sees, so it's just kind of another reason I feel that Piper was the best choice for creating today. No doubt, if requested, other Butcher Gang members can be made, of course. Now we got a head as the source object painted all the way black. We put down an upper leg part of a megalania, as well as the body of a rabbit, and Pachycephalosaurus is what we're going to go with once more. We're going to take the back thigh piece, that upper leg part, but it's the one that's in the back right here, and just kind of layer that behind that body of the rabbit that we got down there. And then the megalania upper leg part can be painted all the way black for like the opening of his mouth. Now, again, I was going to say, why would we create these with the head and the body separately? I did explain the stamp limit to you guys earlier. So being that, of course, Scribblenauts Unlimited is actually kind of limited in the object editor, and we only have a certain number of stamps to use, well, we can create the head as a separate object and then attach the two, and that's sort of a loophole that allows us to get around that stamp limitation. So kind of nice. I mean, I wish we didn't have to do the workaround. We could just make it all one object, but whatever. Scribblenauts Mega Pack is coming out pretty soon, and if you don't know what that is, it's basically, of course, where they're going to combine in one package. They're going to have, Scribblenauts Unlimited and Scribblenauts Unmasked. I do not know if the object editor is going to be a feature in those, just because for these games, for example, this is Scribblenauts Unlimited from 2012 is when that released, and it was on the Wii U as well as PC, but in both of those, you you can type very easily. Like the Wii U, you have the stylus where you can place things and type pretty easily. But imagine, using a controller for Switch. Switch does have a handheld mode, but you would only be able to edit in handheld mode if this principle that I'm about to discuss were the case. But what I'm essentially trying to say is, how are you going to actually type in your objects? Well, they may do it like Scribblenauts Showdown if they are going to include the object editor. Scribblenauts Showdown, basically to type, you had to do this. I felt it was kind of clunky, but it's like almost like a wheel of text, and you have to actually use your controller to individually go to each letter to spell it out, and it's like on PC, you obviously have a keyboard, so you can type very easily, and you have a mouse to precisely place things, whereas, and on Wii U, it's the stylus, on your gamepad. But for the Nintendo Switch, I don't believe that's going to be the case, and Switch isn't the only platform it's coming out on or anything like that. It's also, I believe, coming to PS4 and Xbox One, but again, I really don't think that it's going to have the object editor feature, just based on those things. So we're going into the properties editor for the head object. This is very, very important. You need to go down to the equipment tab and fill in this circle. It's almost near the bottom, second up. It says can be worn on the face like glasses. And so you want to make sure that that is filled in, because then your head object is going to basically be put where you want it to be put for the most part. Cloudy Copter right here going on the level, while we will also attach Piper's head here. So let's actually see what happens. I just sort of knocked his head off to the side. I was going to say, let's see what happens when I put this on me. Yeah, so my head definitely in Scribblenauts, my avatar's head is placed on in a different spot. So like that'll happen a lot of the times, but we literally created this head to be placed on this particular body for Piper. So you can actually see it works very well when we put it on Piper. The reason it didn't work for me, again, is because the grids are different for an avatar, and also the head grid is a little bit bigger, I believe, on my avatar than it would be on, say, the male dancer source object that we used to create Piper. But look at that, that's so awesome. We got Cloudy Copter right here. We'll test out, of course, one of the scripts that I did for its behavior was to destroy fire, or fire sources, I guess, as the general category for that. And so look at this, it actually is going to destroy it. Maybe we should do just a little bit more damage. We gave him 5 damage just as a thing. He shoots out wind as Cloudy Copter's weapon right there. We might just increase the damage to like 8, something like that, maybe. On this level, though, I had one of my past creations, Dr. Eggman. Of course, this was a remake of Dr. Eggman right here. Why not? Show off. A showdown right here. It's going to be a battle between Dr. Eggman, who we will make hostile right here, to take on Piper. Let's see who is going to win, who's going to be the victor in this matchup. Yes, I think it's actually not going to be Piper. Surprisingly, our new creation is not going to win, I don't think, if it continues at this pace. Now, of course, if you wanted to give an actual wrench, it would look differently in Scribblenauts Unlimited. Of course, you could make your own custom wrench or whatever for Piper to hold. You could certainly do that, and then I think things would change. But I mean, by that same principle, you could also give Eggman just a litany of weapons, because Eggman obviously isn't always just kind of standing there outside of some kind of mechanized either vehicle or having some sort of weapons and whatnot. So yes, Dr. Robotnik, Eggman, gonna be the victor right there. You could see Piper's head on the ground just like, oh, you suck. So yes, there is a good look at our characters. So awesome. I love how these designs turned out. And of course, Piper, if you don't want to do that kind of sepia yellowish tone to it, you could obviously do the same exact design but just paint over it white, so that it's a black and white character. I have done some Bendy and the Ink Machine characters that way, but a lot of the times we're now choosing to sort of do that old sepia tone. And so again, I really would appreciate it if you guys subscribe and hit that bell if you've never been here, or if you have been here and just haven't done so yet. It really helps me out. Thank you. We upload every Sunday morning. That's based on North American time zones. Request what you guys want to see down below in the comments section, and I will catch you guys on the next vid. And thanks for viewing. And glorifying of my presence. So I step on other lives, twists and turns, and I made the cycles end with dignity and courage. Now I hope to God that everyone can learn something.